What do tigers dream of when they take a little tiger snooze? Do they dream of mauling zebras or Halle Berry in her Catwoman suit? Well, don't you worry, your pretty striped head. We're gonna get you back to Tyson and your cozy tiger bed. And then we're gonna find our best friend Doug, and then we're gonna give him a best friend hug. Doug, Doug, oh, Doug, Dougie, Dougie, Doug, Doug. But if he's been murdered by crystal meth tweakers, well, then we're shit out of luck.
I have with me as a guest, not physically with me, but over the wonders of Skype, a very good friend that I've known for about a year. His name is Douglas. He goes by the Twitter handle of CasePollard1. I'll spell that for you. CasePollard, the number 1. Doug, how are you doing?
Could be better, could be worse.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Where are you at the moment?
I'm currently in what is Moline, Illinois.
Because on your profile, I believe it says that you're from somewhere...
Yes, I used to live in northern Denver.
Yes, Colorado, that's it. North Glen,
yes.
Isn't it?
It's a wonderful place.
Yeah. So you're now in Illinois. Now we'll get to why you're actually in Illinois in a little second. The reason why I'm doing this podcast is Doug's actually in some trouble, and I figured that some of you out there could help him. At the moment, his wife, called Samantha, is in the UK. The original plan was to get Doug over there with her, but things haven't worked out. Her plane ticket isn't until sometime in May, so she's going to be apart from Douglas through all that time. Would that be fair to say, Doug?
That would be fair to say, yes.
Okay, right. But we'll talk.
Plan.
We'll talk about that in a minute, Doug. That's not a problem. Let's just go back in time. How did you and Sam meet?
Well, this a lot of people in England find crazy, but I was English teacher over in the UK.
Right.
This was to work on my PhD and other things, but I was teaching in the secondary schools over in the UK, and people found it really weird, saying, "What? A American teaching English?" But yeah, like you guys have some kind of royalty on it. But
well,
anyways,
we did invent the language. Come on.
You did, and we murdered it. So thank you, Noah Webster. Yeah. But anyway, how I met my wife was. Do you remember a service called Gumtree?
Yes.
Yes, I had posted on Gumtree just a wacky kind of crazy post that no other guys would dare to post. And she replied to me. And my wife and I started talking back and forth, long story short and all that. I came to realize that my walk to school each day took me right by her house. Every single day and every single afternoon I would walk home. I'd go by her house.
Whereabouts was this, Doug, in the
UK? This is in Lewisham.
Oh, yeah, Lewisham, yeah.
Yeah, near, I think it was Crofton.
Yeah.
At the time, but it changed its name to Prendergast Hillyfields. Cool. to sound more, yeah, we're more high and flighty. But it was a crap school. It was crap students. But I got to meet my wife out of that, and we eventually ended up riding the bus to Bromley to have a Starbucks. We were both nervous as hell, and it just started off and went from there.
So how long ago did you get married?
About 5 years.
Right. And did you get married over here, or did you get married in the States?
We got married in the UK, and I had wanted to stay, but my visa ran out. I couldn't get a job because I was there on a highly skilled, talented visa that was no longer being sought after.
Did you apply to have your visa renewed?
I applied to have a spousal visa, but that takes quite a lot of money, and we were dependent on my parents at the time.
Yeah.
And they said, we'd rather... I have no idea why they thought of this, but that they'd like us to come back to the U.S. and have Samantha have her immigration done here, and then we go back over there. It made no sense to me, but we were at the mercy of them.
Yeah. So you guys moved over to the U.S. Did Sam settle in the U.S. pretty well? Was there a bit of a culture shock? I mean, did she find life in the US significantly different to life in the UK, to what she was used to?
Yes, she did. It was a very big culture shock, especially moving to Colorado. And the area we were in, we had no public transportation. That was one of the biggest things. And one of the biggest things she's facing now is no public transportation around. And then when we moved up to Denver, because originally we were living in Colorado Springs, and just word to my my UK friends, don't ever go to Colorado Springs, it's scary. Or my atheist friends, don't go there. It's a gorgeous place, and there are pockets of beauty. I mean, there's wonderful, beautiful places to go, like Garden of the Gods and up to Pikes Peak. It's just the culture. The culture is that judgmental, ignorant Christian who looks at you weird for wearing a shirt. And it really bugs me. So it's just the culture, and you know how memories tend to hang over a place?
Yeah.
I have very bad memories of that place. So.
Okay. Now, Sam has a disability, I understand.
Yes.
Okay. And the disability, I believe, is called fibromyalgia?
Yes. And it's very, very misunderstood.
Give us a brief idea of what it is for those of us who don't know.
Okay. Well, this is from the Mayo Clinic, one of our top clinics in the United States. Diagnosing this as a actual disability and a pain management disease. Says fibromyalgia is a disorder characterized by widespread musculoskeletal pain accompanied by the fatigue, sleep memory, and mood issues. Researchers believe that fibromyalgia amplifies painful sensations by affecting the way your brain processes pain signals. So it's a pain disorder, and she has her good days and her bad days. The best way she puts it, and this is how I've grown to understand it the best, is called the spoons theory. For each day you have a set amount of spoons. And then every time you exert yourself or take things away, or you do something that is exerting yourself, or you hurt yourself, you take away spoons. And these spoons carry you through the day until you run out.
Right.
And then you have to borrow from the next day's spoons if you have to keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what leads to a lot of pain, leads to a lot of sleeping. It's not the person being lazy. It's not anybody complaining and whining. It's an actual physical disability.
Okay. How she suffered from this her whole life, I take it?
Yeah, since teenagers.
Okay, because Sam, for those of you, I mean, all of you on this listening to this podcast probably won't know Sam, but she's very, very warm-hearted person. She's always posting pictures of cats on Facebook. She doesn't have a Twitter account, unfortunately. And she has a cat of her own, Skunky, who is with her at the moment in the UK. You also have a disability as well, Douglas, I believe.
Yes, I do, and it's a harder one to get diagnosed and be recognized. You experienced this with me. You saved me on Twitter, as did the atheist community. I'm diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder.
Yeah.
Most people are coming into the know of what it is, but it's a chimera disorder. You can never tell what state you're going to be in, or if you're going to be manic or depressed or what. So,
I know you have your good days and your bad days, don't you?
yes.
Yeah. But one thing that you have realised, and, you know, if there was a God, I would thank God, but instead I'm going to thank you. One thing that you have realised is that if you ever feel that low again, there's always someone on Twitter.
Yes. Yeah.
And if there isn't anyone on Twitter, you've got me on speed dial. So, you know.
I've got you on speed dial. I've got all of my friends on Twitter, who I must apologize, I haven't been tweeting very often because I've been doing this big move.
Yeah.
But I'm going to attempt to tweet some more.
Doug has his own blog, which you can find at notwithoutaword.com. I suggest you read his stuff. He has a particular problem with Deepak Chopra, I believe.
I hate Deepak Chopra.
Doug is also a writer. He's written a book. What's the book called, Douglas?
The book is called The Art of Self-Destruction, and it's not what you think.
Okay, it is a fictional novel. I've actually read some of it. I've not read it all, so you can spank me later, Doug.
No, it's okay. It's free.
But you can find it at Amazon. No, just getting back to you and Sam. When did the problem start for you guys? I mean, I know that neither of you can actually... I mean, I know that Sam certainly can't work properly, can she?
Well, that's one of our big things together, is that she can work if she tries.
Yeah.
She can't do some of the big work that is expected here in the States, but she has said to me, you know, I could be a stalker at Tesco, or I could do this at Sainsbury's. I just can't get there.
Give us an idea of when things started to go south for you, when it started to get bad.
It got bad in the summer last year. I don't want anybody to think that she left and then said, boo-hoo, I'm scared, I want to come back, because that's not what's happening. She left because her friend, who I hope listens to this, but I'm not going to specifically call out, is a horrible person and lied to her. Her friend said, we'll get you a ticket over to the UK. You can bring your cat. You can stay with us. Then we can help on you with your family and all this other things. Well, we went through the entire summer with Samantha staying up until midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, talking to this idiot who she now realizes is an idiot, and wouldn't fuck off when I told her to fuck off. So it turned into this. I'm clinging onto this friend because she represents my home, whereas Doug represents a home I don't want to be right now.
Yeah.
Because she's been wanting to go back to the UK forever. She just is very scared of U.S. culture. But when she got over there, she found a bigger culture shock between U.S. and U.K. She got used to the U.S. here.
Okay, so just to make it absolutely clear, you and Sam had no marital problems. You were both very happy together, but Sam felt the need to come back for a family.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I skipped over that. It was we had traditional marriage problems, but nothing that was in the way of divorce or anything like that.
So you weren't on the verge of splitting up. You were happy together.
Yeah. We both had a different view of it, but her view was she was going to go over to Britain to take care of her family, because that's a whole other disaster with her sister.
Yeah.
Her sister had a child. The child got taken away from her sister because her sister said she would kill the child. And Samantha just really wanted this child to have a good home. She was gonna, live with the father and help raise the child, but things just went kablooey on her.
Yeah.
So now she wants to come back because her family is completely denying her. They're just ignoring her and denying her, and it really hurts my heart to see it.
I know she has had some. I mean, her and I, and you know this, Doug. Her and I have been exchanging texts because I've been doing what I can to try and help her. I know I haven't been much help, so far, but I'm trying to. No, but I'm trying to do everything that I can to help her. Now, I know that her family have completely turned their back on her. I don't know the reasons why. I don't even think she does she?
No, none of us do, because she's the good one.
Yeah. So the upshot is, I mean, you originally, I believe, the plan was for her to come to the UK and then you were to come over and join her. That was the original plan. Right.
That was the original plan, that I would earn some money to get myself over there to come and join her, and then we would be very happy.
Okay, right. But that plan now has changed. Now Sam is trying to get a ticket back to the US to come back to you.
Yes, and she does have the ability to do this. It's just going to cost an extra amount.
Now, I know Sam has no money, and I know you have no money. You have no income, either of you. Sam can't even, as a British citizen, claim any benefits.
No.
It's not really because of anything legal. It's because she's so far away from the nearest post office or the nearest signing on station, the nearest Job Centre Plus.
Job Centre, yeah.
She's about 4 or 5 miles, and she has no method to travel there. There's no bus, so...
And the people she's with aren't taking her.
No.
Even though they have said they would.
So over here she's getting very little help. Now, I understand that you have also just had to move on, and, that's why you're currently in Illinois. Where have you just moved from, Doug?
I just moved from Colorado, where we used to live. I had to stay with my friend, who is thankfully a better friend than she had, who let me stay in his RV out in the back, and his parents were so nice to me, and they, gave me all of this just warmth and friendliness, which I have to add, being an atheist and in the realm of there were Mormons, I was a little freaked out, but they were really good people. So I had a better side than she did. I'm in Illinois now.
Right, so are you in a motel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just got back from visiting my gran.
Okay, so how long is it now since Sam has been away from you?
November 30th.
So essentially nearly 3 months.
3 months, yes.
Okay, and she's trying to get her ticket changed, but she can't get a flight back until May the 14th, is it?
15th, May the 15th, I believe.
May the 15th, okay. To move it forward to a date that she can specify, I understand is going to cost around £500, £600.
Yeah, 500.
Okay. And there's also her cat, Skunky, who she loves dearly. She's been trying to get Skunky to come with her to Milton Keynes. I do know that. I hope that she's been able to do it.
Yeah, it's basically $720, I think. It goes up and down depending on the day he has to flight. Right.
So we're talking at the moment £1,320. Now, equating to dollars, £1,300 I'd say is about $2,100.
Yeah.
So you need about $2,100, £1,300 just to get back Sam back over with you. You're also going to need to find somewhere permanent to live as well.
Yeah, that is my responsibility. I know. I've been hitting the ground running, trying to find a place to live, and I've applied to countless colleges and things I can do. So, who knows what's going to happen with that?
Yeah, I mean, basically, you've got to go where the work is, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I guess you're looking online for all sorts of teaching positions and
writing positions and just any position that will take me.
Yeah. It's hard. It's very, very hard to make a living out there, especially as a writer or especially as somebody, you know, who has a certain degree of education in something. It's hard. If you can't sing or dance or act, you basically, you know, or you don't want to tread on poor people.
I'm one of those, but I am one of those poor people that they're yelling about, and the lazy gits. I'm like, yeah, I'm a lazy git. That's why I want to work.
Yeah. So in all, to get Sam back over with you and to get you back on your feet, how much would you say you needed if you had to put a dollar price tag on it? Because you've got to think about deposits for rent or deposits on maybe a mortgage or however you want to deal with the housing situation.
That other stuff shouldn't be too bothersome. It just seems to me that it would be a Skunk and Samantha issue getting them back.
So what that comes out
to, I basically estimated about 2,020 pounds, which came out to $3,310 US, but of course that changes.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you were aware the other week, Doug, Adam Reeks had on a very, very courageous lady called Iman. If I've pronounced her name wrong, I do apologise. Very, very brave, very courageous lady who'd been through a living hell.
Aww.
And he managed, through a fundraising campaign, to raise over $10,000 for her. I think they're Australian dollars. Now, that was phenomenal. I don't have anywhere near the listeners or the amount of listeners or subscribers that Adam does, because his podcast is absolutely exceptional. But what I'm going to try and do is putting this on my Smegcast because you're my friend and because I think you need some help. So,
you're wonderful.
I know that you've got a Pay It Square page that you're setting up at the moment. When this is published, what I would urge anyone who wants to help out Doug and Sam, because all they want to do is get back together. We don't
need money. As I said, the money to get her to use would be to get her home. Everything else,
you can do on your own.
Like finding a home, and that's not very hard.
I know, and I know what a proud guy you are as well, but I'm going to put this on my podcast, and I'm going to try and see if we can raise you some money. I can't really promise anything.
I don't expect anything. I just love the promise of the Twitter community coming together. Yeah. And this is actually, if I may just kind of go off key, the first time I've got to thank everyone who stood for me during that dark time I was on Twitter. Nobody gave me money, but everybody was just so loving and so worried. And it was just amazing that this is coming out of the atheist community.
I think
because I was brand new to it.
Yeah, and you were, because I think it's about a year I've known you now. It was about a year that all this happened. I believe you were having a meal at a hotel, and you suddenly did you have a panic attack or something? Yeah. And you put up your flag. A few of us saw it. We got you some help. It's what we do, because we don't believe in gods. We believe in humans.
Exactly.
And we believe that we were put here to help each other. not to stand
Exactly.
in each other's way.
And humans are just so brilliant at helping each other.
Mm. As I've said on a previous podcast, and for those who have been with me long enough, I also had my problems. The Twitter atheist community came together for me. They raised some money for Sharon and I. We will be forever grateful for that. We will never ever forget something like that. But what I'm going to try and do for you and Sam, Doug, is I just want you guys to get back together, because I know from Sam and I know from you how much you miss each other.
Yeah.
So let's see what we can do for you, Doug.
Thank you so much.
The Twitter atheists that I follow are certainly very, very good people, and the ones that follow me are very, very good people as well.
Exactly. I feel the same way, and I feel a little bit guilty. I haven't been tweeting much lately, but
you're a great follow, because you sometimes copy me in on tweets, usually when it's a Deepak Chopra article or some sort of YouTube nonsense that he's been spouting about cosmic consciousness, and
hate that crap.
don't we all? No, but all I want to do is see you and Sam happy, and I think the first step to that is to get you back together.
Yeah.
So, to all my listeners, to all my subscribers, if you can help Doug, please go to his Twitter profile. It's CasePollard1, CasePollard1. On there, you'll find the link to his Pay It Square page. As soon as we can raise the money, he will be able to get Sam over on a plane.
Yeah.
Back to probably going to start in Illinois, aren't you? Or are you going to get it back to Colorado?
We'll probably start Illinois and see what happens here. There's a lot more opportunities for people with my skills here.
Okay.
So.
Well, at least that's, looking quite bright for you.
Yeah. I do miss her, though, so, it's...
Well, what I would like to do is, if we do manage to raise some money for you and Sam gets back over to the States and you're both back together, I'd like to have you both back on the podcast, and I'd like you both to update us as to what happened, how it went on.
Yes, definitely.
As soon as that happens, we'll give you time to, get back together and, get all of the the welcome home stuff out of the way, if you like.
Welcome home stuff.
Yeah. And then we'll have you back on, and we'll chat to you about, what you've been through, and also what you hope for in the future.
Yes. Thank you so much for your support.
Oh, you're welcome, mate. You're a friend. I trust you. I love you and Sam.
Mm-hmm.
This is the least I can do.
I have to say, she's not big on talking to strangers, so that she's been talking with you is a big thing.
Yeah, I realize that. She's a very, very brave lady, but I'm actually gonna, once I've uploaded this, I'm actually gonna send her the link so she can have a listen to it.
Great. And I will, I'll send you the link to this Pay It Forward. It got sent to her email address. So I have to have her sign in and do all that.
Okay, now I know that you speak to Sam more or less every night. I mean, I know you FaceTime all the time and you text. Yeah. I know that happens, but is there anything you'd like to say to Sam here? Because, you're quite welcome to. Because I think you've got every right to.
Yeah. All right, Samantha, I desperately miss you. I hate being in a hotel room and doing all of this without you. So I hope we can get you home. I love you.
Okay. Right, Doug. I want to get you back as well to do 20 questions at some point, but we'll get to that down the line. This podcast ain't going anywhere. You ain't going anywhere. And if you ever think about going anywhere, pick up the fucking phone. Okay?
Aye, sir.
All right. Either that or get out to these brilliant people on Twitter.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, if you need help too, send it to me. I'll be here. I might not be on your time, but
all of us need help every now and again, and as much as we get help, we also like to give it, especially to people who need it, and you and Sam need it at the moment. So if the listeners to this podcast, whether they're subscribers or whether they're first-time listeners, if they can help in any way, then, that would be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens, okay? Keep me posted as to how you go on.
I definitely will.
And anybody who donates, please let me know and you'll get a retweet. Okay, Doug, thanks very much for joining me. And keep your chin up. Don't worry. We're on the case and we'll try and get some sort of resolution to this for you, mate. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Thank you.
All right, buddy. No problem. Like I say, keep your chin up. It's going to be okay. All right. Take it easy, buddy.
Take it easy.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.